Hello nerds, I'm glad you could make it. Today's video comes to you from a special, undisclosed location for security reasons. Actually, it's Nate's room. Hello Nate, I hope it's alright that I stole your computer. Today, I'm going to answer Rob's question about theoretical science. I've got something else in the works, but I'd like to save that for later. The theoretical science that most excites me, and there are several, but at the moment the one that I'm thinking of is limitless energy. Now this is a thing that comes up in science fiction over and over, and it's actually also a concept that people have talked about as a how could we make this happen. A great number of the world's ills are caused by lust for energy. We go to war for oil. We fight each other for all kinds of territory that has to do with how much energy can be generated from it. We pollute our atmosphere with things that cause the planet to warm and ice to melt and water levels worldwide to rise. We release mercury into the planet in a way that it should not be released. And let us not forget the choice we are all being asked to embrace all over this country, even as I speak, to embrace fracking as a way of getting natural gas, even though it quite possibly poisons the water supply of the area where it is being extracted for miles around. But if we had an easy or free source of limitless energy, say 100% efficient solar, or something else, beamed power from the surface of the moon, a way to harness the friction of meteorites as they enter the Earth's atmosphere, tiny, cheap, hyper-efficient, cold fusion reactors, other things of that sort, then it wouldn't matter. We would have fewer wars because people would be able to have the energy they needed. So that's one reason. Another reason is that I really believe that there's a lot of innovation that's being held back by energy demands. I'm not saying that we shouldn't make things more efficient. It's always good to use as little energy as you can possibly get away with. But there always are technologies that when they first come out are going to need to use a great deal more energy than we have available. If we have the ability to create matter transmitters, but not the power, no one's ever going to make it. So if we had infinite amounts of power that would make it easy for anyone to have one once they were created, then I think the innovation of all kinds of things would speed up immensely. It would also lend itself nicely to, say, Rob's desire for interstellar travel. If you have limitless power, you don't need to worry about the batteries on board that ship catching fire, as they did on several aircraft last year, say. So Nate, for your instantaneous transportation, that requires a great deal of power as well. And of course, if I want a cup of Earl Grey tea, hot, and I want it to just be creating matter, matter into energy, those can be theoretically exchanged, but the exchange consumes something, so if we had limitless energy to do that with, we might be able to get hot Earl Grey tea without a kettle. Now then, why am I dressed up so pretty today, you may be asking yourself. Well, every once in a while I like to put on a show. Also, I wanted to apologize for my absence last week on Monday, my video day. My mother was visiting and I was surprised, and, well, not surprised, I knew she was coming, but I just didn't plan ahead and make my video. That was my bad. And then on Tuesday through Thursday, I was dead to the world, because I was flat on my back, sick. You may be able to hear it a little bit in my voice at the moment. Here's a kind of a recreation. That was the light version. Be glad I spared you. Anyway, so sorry for my absence last week. I will absolutely do my Vine-style videos as atonement. Rob, you will notice I have not yet removed this. The truth is that I don't have 3 days together in which I can look like a fool and not explain myself. Most days, I might have a meeting or something. I considered doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that would have worked, except I wasn't willing to go into acting out on Tuesday, which currently has 20 or 30 people, most of them new, which is wonderful, but I wasn't willing to go in there and not explain to them why I had shaved off half my beard and not the other half. So, if I may have your permission to explain after shouting, "Nate!" then I am willing to go 3 days. Otherwise, we might need to shorten it to 2, or you might need to give me a long extension to find those 3 days. Either way, obviously, I'm going to need an extension. So I will try and get that done this coming weekend. Alright, so that's settled, and I think that's all I have for today. Thank you. And remember, narwhals entertain Rhodesian dictators sensibly.